You are watching the biggest, the largest, the highest, the greatest, the tallest, and the mightiest African spiritual platform. I'm always Queen. Hadrasha call me Empress Makida. I interview mu akukumidia before bronsam omu nyina me interview. Ai na me we ni am di hu bibia mehwe bibia me confront no. Today is a great day. I have one of us here, one of our brothers here who is going to talk about humanism. Unim the way humanism for no omadwene ne omuniama ye etie aya na uhu omo say omo gihwi ni but omuniama omo ye no ye akese. So today we have one of them here with us who is going to talk about humanism, and I love those people, so I think I love him. Yes, I welcome you people with love, and hate. Let's welcome our guest for today. Papa, we welcome you to Revelations.
Thank you for having me.
Great. Today is your first time on this big platform.
Yeah.
So, pay obeisance to the followers and the subscribers and introduce yourself to us.
Okay, so my name is Justice Okai Allotey. I'm the Communications Officer of the Humanist Association of Ghana.
Okay, we welcome you.
Thank you.
Abusia, humanist for more platform is there. And then we show more power our comment section. Who is a humanist?
So basically, a humanist is any individual that believes that human dignity should be supreme. So humanists actually believe that humans inherently have the opportunity to be good or bad, regardless of where they find themselves in. So with regards to that, you can then say that we believe that humans should be at the center of everything that we do. So that is why, as a Humanist Association, we reject dogma, any belief in any superstition. We also run by free thinking, critical thinking, science, and question. So we always encourage people to question a lot of the things that they know, and also to think critically around some of the things they've been told and then things that they believe they need to know. So basically having a rational idea around how the world is formed and how we can all live in harmony as humans.
Abusia, Mokai, Tamba show Nasino, Mambo the Osofo Dan, Church of Christ, Papa no. I am a video na mfan tu mane hype ne kakra ya no mpe hype. Ozie who go interview Nkrofo Bronsam for we at no ada ne Bronsam. Em say last week in this week me ya da ne ampa. Papa Kwesi sinti me inside the crisis by it's still boggling my mind. I go and that's what the abeni. Inti me kwa mo mpa ba mi o. Hey, so what when you see people see you and think you people are, they use the word atheist, you don't like, especially Ghanaians. Yeah. How do you people, what do you people face publicly when you people identify yourself as atheist or a humanist?
So I think depending on the setting that you find yourself and how people would embrace or would question why you are who you are. I would say when I started off as a human, so I used to be Christian, but then over the course of the last 8 to 10 years, I started questioning a lot of my Christian ideas that I thought I had at the point. And then over time, I noticed that no, I don't think the ideas that Christianity believes or espouses is something that I would want to do. I would want to question a lot of the things that I get into contact with. I would want to go further and research on some of the things that I've been told that is a so-called taboo subject. And so those are the things that led me to humanism. So for me, it's usually where you find yourself and the kind of people you meet. I remember when I came out to my parents or my family that I'm humanist, people are like, oh, why are you people, do you have a cult that you believe in? Do you have a secret society? No, we are just regular human beings like everybody. What we don't do is we don't ascribe certain things to a supernatural being. Anything that happens to us, whether it's sickness, whether it's a misfortune, whether it's something that you've done and you've got rewarded with. We ascribe that to the various factors that make sure that that thing happens. Whereas maybe a religious or a spiritual person will ascribe that to a certain supernatural powers, we would rationally think through that process and ascribe it to some of the factors that happen around us. So for me, I usually don't go about telling people I'm humanist, but then if you meet me and we have a conversation, you get to know that no, I'm not religious, and we can be friends, but then know the limits of where you take your religiosity to me, and don't try and think that you would.
You're a better person than me.
Not better, but you are coming to turn me
convert
into,
you.
Yeah, you can't do that.
You are unconvertible.
So, no.
Hey, you are watching The Biggest. So tell me some of the things you were questioning when you were in Christianity.
Well,
5 of them.
We're told that there was a certain power somewhere that we needed to pray to for things to happen for you. But then over the time, you notice that if something is supposed to happen to you, or if something, you have to do something, it depends on the factors that surround you or the place where you find yourself in. So usually, let's say I write an exam. If I don't prepare properly for the exams, there is no amount of anything or prayers or something that I say that will make me pass the exam. It doesn't work that way. So those are like some of the things that I had to let go when I started questioning the idea of not being religious and taking up the humanist lifestyles. Yeah.
So, are you married already?
No, I'm not.
So if you find a woman and the woman is a Christian, I want church wedding and all that, what will you do? Or
so
I believe would handle that?
So usually it's concessions. If it's somebody that respects you for you, who you are, if it's somebody that acknowledges that I'm not religious, but then you are religious, let's find a way of working together. Usually it's how you communicate to each other. So for me, I don't think that is a problem. I've been to weddings of friends in church buildings and all that. There's also a humanist way of doing marriages and stuff like that. If the person wants to do that, we can do that.
There's a humanist way of
oh, yes, yes.
Tell us about it.
So there are humanists, we call them humanist converts. They are like the way a pastor would lead a wedding ceremony. Yeah, they also lead humanist weddings. What happens in humanist weddings is you don't see the overly reliance on God or anything spiritual. It's just both of you, your ideas, how you want your marriage to be like, how you want your ceremony to do like, and then they talk to you and then you incorporate that into how you want the ceremony to be. So you don't overly have to do the traditional way of doing marriage, but then you have to, both of them can come together and then do that as well.
So if you should marry a Christian and you give birth, what happened to the child? Is the child going to...
So for me, I believe in critical thinking. I believe in also giving people the opportunity to find themselves. So for me, I wouldn't want to impose my ideas on my child, but then I'll show them processes that of ways in which they can think, so that when they are old enough to be whatever they want to be, they can take that decision of whether being a Christian or whether being a humanist.
So what is the way of life for a humanist?
Basically, it's very simple. So as a humanist, let me put it how I try to explain to people. So what I don't want others to do to me, I wouldn't do it to you. It's basically as that. So let's say I don't have to steal because I don't want to be stolen from. I don't have to cheat because I don't want to be cheated on. That's as simple as that. So we don't ascribe anything that happens to us to any spiritual. We just look at the facts of every matter and discuss on how some of these things happen. And if there's a rational way of having a solution to it, we find it. scientific knowledge is infinite. So every day there are new discoveries. So you should always have it at the back of your mind that you don't know everything, and that would be the basis for anybody who wants to go on a humanistic journey to take it up upon themselves. So once I know that I don't know anything in the world, I try to ask questions a lot about a lot of the things that people do. I also try to also read a lot on some of the things that I find interesting and some of the things that I find intriguing as well. Even though I am not religious, one of the things that I believe in is, as a human, I'm also an activist. So as a human rights activist, I would fight for your right to believe in your religion, but then I won't be part of your religion. So you have your right to profess any religion that you have to be in. But then don't force me.
Your life is your life.
Yes,
your decisions are for you.
Yes.
So is there a way, do you people have a way of eating, a way of dressing? No. Normal?
No, we are just like everybody else. The only difference is maybe we don't believe in a supernatural being, whereas the others believe in whatever.
That's the only difference? That's the only difference. So do you people pray or something? Like when you wake up from bed, not share, you are gone.
Yeah.
When you come, share, wada.
Yeah. That's
to
it.
you, there's nothing there.
No.
So do you believe in cosmic laws?
No. I think that whole there's explanation to some of the things that happen in the cosmos, but then that is more to the scientific knowledge about it. It has nothing overtly to do with what we as humans need to go through on a day-by-day basis. It's just how the science explain how the cosmos was formed, how the various planets crystallize and form into various things. So
how does the universe, or how does the scientists describe all these things?
So they call it the Milky Way. There are various explanations for that. It's very scientific. So I usually try to, because I won't call myself, I'm not a scientist, so I usually stick to my everyday life and issues that I believe in, and because there's a whole scientific explanation to how the planet is formed, how light passes through the earth, how day and night happens. There's a broad scope of all that. And the good thing about the Humanist Association is that there's a Ghana planetarium, which we partner a lot of the time. So we bring kids to come and learn about the planet, come and learn about the stars, the various stars that we have, the various moons, the various planets that we have. And then we try as much as possible to get them to see into the sky, to look at the various through a telescope, to look at the various planets and things that we do. So in places where we are not having that capacity, we partner with people who have the capacity. And issues with planets, the cosmos and everything, we work with the Ghana Planetarium to do that.
Can you tell us can you tell us a bit about Ghana Planetarium?
So the Ghana Planetarium actually was created by one Dr. Ashon. He's a scientist who has done a lot of research on that space. So I think he came to Ghana and then he wanted people, general kids, Ghanaians, to also understand how the planets and things are formed. So he created the Ghana Planetarium, where you can go and learn. They have various learning sessions where they train and they teach on various topics within the universe. So that's how come the planetarium was formed. But then lately, because of where they used to be at was a private property, it was sold, and so they are now looking for a new home for where they want to set up. So they are still like looking for a space, but then once they find a proper space, then we always share about the things we do with them on our various.
We learned you people, humanist or atheists, you have a society organization here in Ghana.
Yes, there's a Humanist Association of Ghana. So it started off in 2012 as a group of free thinkers that wanted to meet, have discussions about various broad topics. So they then, out of that 11 core members that started the Free Thinking Ghana organization, it then formed into now what we call the Humanist Association of Ghana. So it's gone through different iterations to be where we are now. We usually meet once every month to have discussions on various topics. So we have discussions on mental health, we have discussions on human rights, we had discussions on gender identity, we have discussions on science, we have discussions on the various range of topics. So it's not any secret society that is there that there are some special kind of people. No.
So now that you people think or discuss gender identities, the law that was passed just yesterday in Ghana here,
yeah.
Did you hear about it?
Yeah.
What did they say?
So for us, we are part of the coalition that is against the law. As a humanist organization, we believe that inherent is humans are their basic fundamental human rights. So the bill, as it is now, infringes on a lot of the basic fundamental human rights. And for us, what is even more worrying is the bill is being pushed through so-called religious, Islamic, and traditional. Meanwhile, we live in a country, the current census that they did recognizes there are people who are non-religious. So as a non-religious organization, we also believe that we don't have to use your religious beliefs to set laws for a secular country like Ghana. You can be in the majority, that's fine, but then don't use your religion to set laws.
To impose anything on anybody.
Yes, our constitution is inherently secular in itself. So because of that, we really are against the bill. We have made presentations to Parliament. We've done numerous interviews, both on TV and on radio, on why we think the bill shouldn't have passed and why also we believe the president shouldn't sign to the bill. Yeah.
They said a lot of things in that bill.
Oh yeah, they did. So me speaking to you now as an activist would infringe on the bill if I say something that is against the bill. So advocacy, we can't live in a country where even the 1992 constitution can be criticized and processes can be put in place to do a referendum to change certain clauses in our constitution. But this is an act of parliament, and that act is saying we cannot advocate against the bill. So for us, that fundamentally is
the government or is the presidency aware of, are they part or they are aware or they admit or this thing, what do we call human rights? Is it known to them? Freedom of speech, is it part of Ghana law?
Yes.
Are they aware of it?
I think everybody should be aware, because in our constitution it states that everybody has the right to an association, right to freedom of speech, right to join whatever religious sect or group they believe in. And we have a country of about 30 million people. They are atheists, they are humanists, they are agnostics, they are Christians, they are Muslims, they are traditionalists. Even though we are in a minority, that is why it is very important that our constitutions respect and protect people like us who are in the minority. Because we can't allow for religious fundamentalism to continue in a country like Ghana, where, for instance, I'm atheist or I'm humanist, and I come to you for a job. Instead of looking at the quality of work I can do for you, you will look at maybe what I believe or I don't believe in to reject me from that job. And that is basically the basic things that we fight against all the time as humanists. Yeah.
You are watching the biggest and the largest. Okay, so right now, if I take them, they are looking for me to catch me already because of my mouth. So can you people take them on? Parliamentarians, when they say something, can someone take them on, the whole parliament?
Yeah, we are in various conversations with Parliament, because there's already a framework a platform, freedom of religion and of belief, freedom from religion and of belief. So it's a platform where various actors from across the world are part of. So they are trying to push the idea of the state being secular in its doings and its actions. So that we did recently launched the Accra Charter with the Parliament of Ghana, where the Parliament recognized that we cannot use beliefs to create rules and regulations for the country. That is not a way that we want to push, like live as a very democratic society. So we are in conversations with them on that platform, which is for us to have conversations on how we can actually push for a more secular ideas around how the state should be run. We don't want to see a country investing in, let's say, a national cathedral where there are very pertinent issues like healthcare, like education, like security that we need to put our money in. So those are like the things that we advocate for, and we are in conversation with Parliament and the various actors around it.
Let me ask you my last question, then we get into your topic. This thing, this homosexualism thing, the churches are saying they don't like, they are making noise. The mosque, they are also making noise. The Islams, and now the Muslims, they are also making noise. All the traditional worshippers are also saying, so who are those practicing the act? Who are those in the act?
They are very much Ghanaians like everybody else. The first time I heard about a gay or a lesbian person was a Ghanaian. I didn't know anybody outside of Ghana who was one. It was people that I saw within the various places that I visited, the various communities that we have.
This one that you are trying to advocate for them, they will be like, it is only 8 years that practices it too. You get me?
I don't think that is the case, because there are various people. There are people who are religious, who are part of the community, and there are people who are Muslim who are part of the community. What we need to understand is they have always existed with us. I am 33 this year. From when I was born as a kid to now, I have always known or heard rumors of somebody who is a supposed gay or lesbian. So imagine me in my 30 years, and I throw that question to my people all the time, that since you were born, you've always known or you've been told about somebody who is either gay or lesbian. So they've always been with us. The issue now is they are also a minority group, and what they go through are similar to some of the things that we go through in Ghana. So they need protection. They need people not to discriminate against them. They need people not to attack them over unnecessarily.
Someone saw them so no problem. I don't know now they public.
Things
are happening in the
I don't
room.
think people have sex in public.
So why do you need
people only
legalization?
see maybe an effeminate man walking, and then in the back of their mind, oh, this is a gay, let's attack them. Meanwhile, the person might just be effeminate, but has nothing to do with their gender identity. So those are like some of the things where we continuously speak up against, and we want to make sure that... But the legalization
they are looking for,
why
do you need that?
I don't think in the community have asked for legalization. Anytime government goes to... So there's the Universal Periodic Review of the UN Human Rights Commission, where countries across the world come and speak on their human rights record. Over the last times that Ghana have gone for their human rights record to be reviewed, one of the things that they continues to say there is they are going to protect the rights of gender minorities. What it basically means is for people who are being beaten because they are just looking like effeminate men or they are looking like very muscular women, we need to protect them from such individuals. The government continuously, when they go on that platform, to say that no, government or the government of Ghana is taking steps to make sure that these people's rights are not trampled upon. and then we do a whole 360 and say this is a bill that even criminalizes when you say I am gay without even engaging in any sexual activity. That bill is going to criminalize just when you say that. So that's why we continue to say that we cannot live in a country where we don't respect each other's fundamental human rights. They always make the point that human rights are not in the vacuum. But then in our constitution, there is a mention of people don't infringe on people's rights based on religion, gender, association, and the various things that you mentioned. So that is why we continuously say that they haven't come out to say regularize gay marriages. All they are saying is respect their human rights. If they have an issue and they go to the police station, the police would actually take their issue seriously and not blackmail them
because of their condition.
Because of how they are looking like. People try to blackmail them all the time. So these are some of the things that they are asking for. And the the Amnesty International has done a whole human rights record about, and they are consistently actions of violence against people of the LGBT community. That is why, for instance, they are calling for their rights to be respected and for them to live their normal lives. Nobody goes about having sex in public. Whatever sex somebody is having in their privacy of their room is none of anybody's business.
It's none of anybody's business. So me, mom dear, I don't actually have any problem. But the hospitals, even if you go and deliver, you are lying on the floor. So if they fall sick, that is where my problem is. They can do it in chamber, but when you fall sick, that's my problem.
What kind of sickness?
I learned they have issues there.
I don't think.
You don't think so? Okay, let's leave this one before they come and arrest us. You are watching the biggest and the largest. So how many are you in Ghana? The humanists?
I can't have a ready
because
number.
you are in the association.
Yeah,
the reason I'm asking this.
It's more than 100 plus.
Oh, okay.
Some are in the country. Some have moved on to live outside of the country. We have like a database where we have about 100 plus people who are members of the association.
So do you pay dues or
yes, we pay. It's a dues paying association where every year there's a stipulated amount for people to pay for a year to help the organization run some of the activities that we run, support some of the people that we support. Yeah. Okay,
so we appreciate you. Your topic is humanist in Ghana.
Yeah.
So now I want to hear this.
Yeah. So basically, humanists exist in Ghana, even way before 2012, but then when they came together to form the free thinking Ghana movement, that is what now became a humanist organization. So basically what my topic seeks to talk about is we are an irreligious group in Ghana which also have certain fundamental rights. We also have members who, when they come out to either their parents or their work as not religious, then they begin to have certain discrimination acts against them. I know somebody who was actually had to resign from their job because anytime they went, so their organization did morning devotion, and then the person tried to tell them that I am not religious, so I cannot partake in this activity. And for some reason, consistently, they always wanted him to lead prayers, even though he had told them that he is very irreligious. So actions like that, it's not in a country that everybody has their rights to believe in the various things that they believe in. You don't have to push religion into a workspace. So those are like some of the activities that we advocate for. We also advocate for the government to also recognize that as an organization or as a group of body, there are Ghanaians who are also very irreligious. So when they are creating laws like what the LGBT bill is going to do, when they are creating opportunities like what the government do, they need to recognize that they are a minority group that are also exist in Ghana, and also trying to try to also recognize our rights when they are making some of these provisions. And so we our main ideas around humanism is based on the Amsterdam Declaration of 1952. So that's when the World Humanist Congress had its first Humanist Congress, and then Amsterdam Declaration was created. But then over the years, in 2022, in 2002, and then 2022, there's been very iterations to the declaration, which means that even as humanists in 1952, the things that we are doing now has evolved. So there was the need for the Amsterdam Declaration to also be improved to reflect the times that we are in. So that goes to show you that as an organization, we continuously evolved in the way we think. We partner with various organizations. So for science-based activities, we work with the planetarium. We partner with environmental-based organizations to do beach cleanups, to educate people on recycling, reusing of material so that we don't pollute the environment. For other activities as well, like human rights, there are various actors that we've engaged in. We've also been on the Ghana Peace Council platform, where we've also made our case as humanists on there. And more recently, there was a launch of the Accra Charter that I spoke about, where we were part of the Accra Charter, which is a set of ideas or activities that is trying the Parliament of Ghana and the various religious or non-religious body coming together to say that on this day Ghana accepts that we want to go by the freedom of religion and from belief, so that people who are not religious can also be very much engaged in some of the high-level conversations around policy in the governance of the country.
So do you have any law protecting you guys?
The 1992 Constitution protects us as much as it protects every other person in Ghana.
Okay, so so right now, the person who was in the company, okay, that they were trying to be like, I don't want to pray, they are trying to be like, come and pray, lead the prayer. Let's assume the person say, I don't want to be part, I won't be part. Let's take it from school. We do worship, you know this.
Yeah.
You go to worship, you know, if you don't want to go, or you don't want to join the prayer in the office like the person's case like this, and they sack the person or they sack the child from school, what happens? Yeah,
so ideally it's a very difficult situation now, because there are no explicit even though the Constitution has said don't discriminate against people on a broad range of things, sometimes there are not very explicit ways of doing that. That is why we are, as an association, we continue to advocate for some of these rights for our members, to be able to say that, no, I'm irreligious and I don't want to partake in any religious activity in the workspace. And so for us that have been able to work outside of Ghana for other international organizations, you see that there's a stark difference between working in maybe a foreign organization and then working in Ghana, because in there they respect the rights of everybody. So they don't bring religious activities into the place of work. And so you go to the extent that you can be free to do everything in the workspace. When you want to pray, that's a private affair. So you, the individual, can pray privately, but don't force every member of the organization to be able to pray if they don't want to do so.
Don't force them to pray if they don't want to do so. But you don't actually have anything, you just say it.
Yes.
That if the person decides to throw the person out of the job or school,
so usually because if it's a private organization, because there are not very clear provisions on that, we usually don't have a lot to do. But then we try to work with the Human Rights Commission, SRAJ, or some of these cases where when people are being sacked in not a way that is according to the Constitution, yes, they are able to do so. So for us, it's a very serious matter for us, because we believe that at the core of the country is you can be whatever religion you are. It's supposed to be a private matter. So in the school setting, you don't have to force every student to be engaged in a religious activity that they don't want to be part of. So that is why we want the state to be, the church and the state to be separate, so that there's a proper separation of church and state, so that we don't have to conflict the two.
Is the church and the state the same? Are they not separated?
They are separated, but largely you notice that even in parliament, you notice that they try to use religious activities even in the Parliament of Ghana. You will hear some of the pronouncements of the Speaker of Parliament mentioning that I'm religious, blah, blah, blah. You can be religious, but that is your private activity. You don't have to use your religious ideas to run the country. That's basically what we continue to fight against. And it's a difficult situation. There are people who would have to pretend to be Christian, even in their families. Other than that, they will be disowned by their parents.
What brought about that at all?
It's just the intolerant nature of us. That is what is causing all that. The issue really shouldn't get to that point. It's basically, I'm not religious. You can be my parent.
It's a choice.
But then don't try and force that beliefs on me. That's something that I won't do. So there are people who will pretend that they are Christian, they'll go to church and everything, but it's just for cosmic relief. They don't really believe in what is going on in there. But then if you have a society that truly understands that we all can't be the same thing, and recognizes that the diversity in everybody, and even in our diversity, we can all forge a common goal, then they will now understand that I don't have to hate my brother or my sister just because they don't believe in my Christianity or God. And even if we move it outside of or go worldwide, there are several gods across the world. If every religious sect says their God is dominant, it's going to create chaos. That is why consistently there are conversations around the diversity of people, the secularity of people, and how as individuals we also need to understand that I don't have to believe in whatever you believe in to fight for your rights. I don't have to do that. I can have to fight for your right because that is the right thing to do. And then even if we don't agree on the same thing, I need to even understand that you have your rights to your disagreement. And so we can't go the ways of very religious fundamentalist countries like Pakistan, like some of the Arab countries, where even women are not given certain rights to even drive in those countries. And that is why sometimes when I meet my Christian friends, I tell them that in Ghana, you may think you are a religious majority, but then you move into a country where there's another dominant religion, and then you now recognize that, no, me being a majority here, coming here has made me a minority. So if I'm pushing that whole tyranny of the majority, it goes back to affect me, because when you go to a country like Pakistan and you have to be on your hijab all the time, you notice that no, this is not right. And so that is why we consistently are saying that as a people, there's diversity in the ways that we do our things. We are a very great people. We are very multicultural. And so we should be able to recognize everybody in their own ways. So that's basically why we consistently are talking against some of these practices. Yeah.
You are watching The Biggest. So right now, people are watching us. One of the biggest problem, when a woman is going to church and the husband said, I won't go, or the husband is going to church, the wife said, I won't go, the child said, I won't go, I don't want to go to church, it becomes a problem. What do you have to tell these people?
So for me, you need to define why you are going to church. If it's because of a so-called right way or moral way, I'm sorry to say, that is not where you can get that morality. There are various ways you can raise people to be ethical, to be very responsible human beings without forcing a so-called religion on them. So for us, people need to understand that everybody has their choice of religion or their choice of practice that they want to be in. So we need to recognize the very tenets as humans. Humans can be good. Humans should be the center of everything that we are doing. If we move that thing to a supernatural being, then now we are bringing in a foreign construct into things that as a human I should be inherently be able to do.
Okay, so humanist in Ghana, what everything you people are doing and what you have to tell people, give us 5 structures that you people can push this for everybody to understand that we should leave everybody's choice for him or her. And then when you are done, you send message to our presidency, the things that you think, instead of vibrating on homosexualism, things that you think they could have replaced that vibration, in a way, the attention they give to this thing.
Yeah, so for me, I don't think I would want to name 5 things. The things I would largely say is, as a country, we have a constitution which is largely secular. There are certain provisions in the constitution that assert certain rights of every individual. When you attain a certain age, at 18, you are able to vote. They don't say because I'm Christian or I'm religious, I should vote or I shouldn't vote. But then because you've attained the age of 18, I am able to vote. And also, as a person, I have the right to associate with any Christian creed of my choice. But that should be my private affair. When we all gather as a people, we shouldn't mix religion into the agenda. And for us, we continuously call for the government to push more resources into building more scientific knowledge within the country. There are so many scientists that are doing breakthrough things that don't get the support. So if you're able to do that, like the planetarium, for example, if they have a place where they can set up their dome, kids can go there and learn about how the stars are formed and the various things that comes with the planetarium. Recently, we noticed that there was a rocket that went to either Mars or something, did a whole orbit, and then came back as like a way of doing tourism, to go and see the sky. And this is something, if you learn about the planet, everything, you notice why this is possible. It wasn't because somebody sat somewhere and said, I pray to a certain God or something. But then there was scientific discovery. People learned that when we do these things, when we build these tools, we're able to go and see the moon and even go and see the galaxy and everything and come back to Earth in one piece. So those are things that we want as a country. We should focus more on and not overly dwell on religious sentiments and also people's personal biases and all that.
Okay, so before we come to the end of this conversation, you are a humanist and you are part of their fraternity. So your last words to the public concerning you people, and the last words to your to go to your group. I don't want to use fraternity, your group. So let me use that way. Wherever they are, if there are any messages you want to send to them.
So one of the misconceptions that I want to tell the people, that we humanists, we don't belong to any secret society. We are very much basic human beings.
I didn't know be secret society based I don't
know.
Sorry, I know the basis.
No.
I won't show sign be.
No, we don't.
Okay, continue.
We are very basic people. Everything that we do are very public. We have a social media platform where we consistently talk about the things we are engaging in. We are part of the HUMANIST International, which is the global organization of humanist organizations across the world, where they also push for ideas and processes for humanists within the world. So consistently, so on Facebook, you can find us at the Humanist Association of Ghana. On Twitter, we are Humanist GH, so HUMANISTS on Instagram, Ghana Humanist. And we have a website, www.ghanahumanist.org. So we are very much a non-profit organization that is registered in Ghana as an association. So every member of our organization has an equal stake in the organization. And we are just volunteer officers that make sure that the activities that we plan for the year, the events that we plan for the year, we are able to do them. So we have like free thinking campus where we go to campus, engage students in various topics around free thinking and critical thinking, where we try and get to understand some of where they are at as well. There are a lot of critical thinking textbooks, even for kids, that if you want to introduce critical thinking to your kids at a very early age, they can also go and read them. So when you go on our website, we have several articles on there. When we are meeting too, we meet very openly in very public spaces. We don't go and hide somewhere and meet. We are very much a very public-facing organization. Yeah.
Okay, you won't send any message to your people?
All I have to say is everybody should be able to do whatever they think is right and in accordance with our laws of Ghana. They should be able to also show their humanism in everything that they are doing and make sure that the humanist ethics are imbibed in the things that they are doing. Can
I be part of you and still be in the church?
Yes, feel free.
It's okay.
There are people who are agnostics.
I want to blend the two. I want cocktail.
Yeah, they are agnostics. So agnostics are people who believe there's a supernatural being, but also they also want to question a lot of the things. So our doors are open to everybody to come and have we have very active conversations as well.
Now I am having a double-edged mind. Crisis, humanist. They all have cysts. Yeah. What do I do about this? Thank you so much for coming, brother. We do appreciate you. We respect everybody on this platform. Everybody is welcome. Thank you so much for coming. When you are having your programs, call me. I want to come and see what's going on there. So I will come and tell the world that you people are not awkward.
Oh yeah, we are very much.
I have to come and find out why people are measuring you people with that.
Maybe because we are cool people.
You are cool people. Thank you so much for coming. I do appreciate you. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Any the social media you've given out, any number, anything?
No, I think for
now, fine.
Yeah, social media.
Okay, thank you so much for coming. We appreciate you. Abusia, all the humanists in Ghana, I send you love. Oh, I send you love. I send you love. Thank you so much for watching the biggest and the largest. I'm always your adorable host, Maame Grace. Shalom. Peace.